What is a backlog of a software development team, and what is its purpose? Who should be using it? Maybe some of you think these are trivial questions, but in my experience, you would be surprised how many people are not able to give you a good answer. In this video, let me explain this. My name is Vladimir, I'm an Agile coach, and this is Practical Agile. So, what is a backlog? Simply said, a backlog is a prioritized to-do list for a development team. It contains tasks of various types that the team needs to deliver, sorted from top to bottom in a priority order. The team then typically takes the tasks from the top of the backlog and starts working on them. Therefore, tasks on the top of the backlog, representing a short-term plan for the next 2 to 4 weeks, must be well defined and must be ready for the team to start working on them, with all the dependencies resolved. Tasks closer to the bottom of the backlog, representing a mid-term plan for the next 2 to 6 months, may still need some refinement, may contain some level of uncertainty, or they can be just sitting there and waiting for some dependencies to be resolved. I made another video on how to maintain a well-managed backlog, so make sure you check it out. I'll put the link for the video into the description below. The primary purpose of a backlog is to provide a transparent view on a short and mid-term plan for the development team and its stakeholders, and to support the team and its stakeholders in their decision-making. It is critical to understand what we mean by a transparency here. The backlog, in order to be transparent, must be simple to read, concise, unambiguous, easy to understand, up-to-date, and must accurately reflect the reality at any time. And who exactly is a stakeholder? A stakeholder from the backlog perspective is anyone who might have an interest in seeing the backlog content. Besides the team members, this might be people from the outside of the team who might not have an expert domain knowledge. For example, people from management, security, compliance, and possibly other departments. Even customers are sometimes allowed to view and collaborate on the team's backlog. Therefore, the team must make sure that the backlog is accessible and understandable for all these stakeholders. Maybe you are asking why the backlog should contain just the short and mid-term plan. It is because we need to keep the backlog in a manageable size so that it is easy to work with it. By limiting the size of the backlog, it is easier for everyone to navigate through it, to compare individual items against each other to determine their relative priority and complexity, and to understand dependencies. Also, in most cases, it is not very practical to spend too much time on populating backlog for a distant future, as it is quite common that before the team gets to these backlog items, the priorities change and the whole backlog needs to be updated to reflect the change. And the larger the backlog is, the more work it requires to accommodate the changes into it. That is the reason why longer-term plans are usually more high-level. They do not contain much detail compared to a backlog, and they are kept in separate documents, for example, in roadmaps. Understanding the purpose of the backlog is extremely important, as this enables a good backlog management. If you make sure that everything you do with the backlog somehow supports the backlog purpose which we just described, you should be just fine, and your backlog should be in a good condition. Unfortunately, it is very common that the development teams do not understand the purpose of the backlog well, and they keep their backlogs hard to understand, chaotic, outdated, and sometimes even unavailable for stakeholders outside the team. Remember that the status of the backlog is one of the factors that accurately reflects the real maturity level of the team. So that was the definition and purpose of the backlog. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of my future videos. Thanks for watching and see you next time.